Okay. So I wrote down 2 words. Self-esteem. Self-esteem. The opinion of how you see yourself. The opinion of how you see yourself. So before we go into that and the power of it, here's a couple of questions you need to ask yourselves. Number 1, how important is the opinion of others toward how they view you? How important to you is the opinion of others on how they view you? Number 1. Number 2, what's the attitude of your self-esteem towards the job you do? How do you feel about yourself towards the job that you do every day, every week, every month? And number 3, what is your opinion of yourself towards your achievements in the business, in your life, as a parent, as a husband or a wife? What's your opinion of yourself towards your achievements in the business, in your life, as a parent, as a husband or a wife? So I worked on this. It's a talk I did a number of years ago, and I pulled this back out the other day because I was working with some agents on the question on how they perceive themselves, because it really affects how much money you earn, how you approach people, how you see yourself in the business, how you can grow in this business. So I wrote down, it doesn't matter where you are in life. What's important is how you perceive where you are. Doesn't matter where you are. More importantly, it's how you perceive where you are. I wrote down this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words. In my opinion, for some of us, self-esteem is killing us. Or probably the lack of self-esteem is killing us. If we project a positive self-image, people want to be around you, right? If you project a positive self... Let me rephrase that. Do you want to be around people who project a positive self-image, right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to be around people who like themselves, not necessarily love themselves, okay? That's a different conversation. But who like themselves, who respect themselves, who take care of themselves, physically, emotionally, financially, etc. We want to be around positive people. So do your buyers, and so do your sellers. Some of that comes across in your approach. You know how we talk about attitude, approach, and expectation? Okay, well, your attitude is kind of the way you walk, but your approach is in your self-esteem. See, you can approach a client full of yourself, or you can approach a client or situation with fear, afraid of yourself. You follow what I'm saying? And some of that comes from confidence. Some of that comes from knowledge. You know, I beg you every week. What do I beg you to do every week? 72 different answers. I'm not doing a really good job of this. What's the one thing I'm very consistent about you doing on a regular basis?
5, 5, 10.
Attitude, 5, 5, 10, prospecting. I gotta work on this. Write this down. Okay? Previewing property.
So I got right answer.
There you go. I love it. I heard it, a few of you said it. Okay? Previewing property. Why? Why is previewing property important? It gives you knowledge. It gives you knowledge of the marketplace. It gives you what's going on in the marketplace. Nothing can teach you more about your business than your product. Whatever it is. whatever it is. And yet, getting you to do that sometimes is, let's just call it a challenge for me. So, question. How confident are you about yourself and what you do on a regular basis? Some of you are very confident. Some of you are very proud of yourselves. Some of you have a bad month. What happens to your self-esteem? Goes down a little bit. Some of you lose a listing. What happens to your self-esteem? Goes down. Some of you don't know how to answer a particular question door knocking today, and you're out there previewing property, or you're just door knocking around it because some of you don't preview property. You circumvent, you say, okay, what he really wants me to do is talk to more people, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I can talk to more people if I don't preview property. I can knock on a few more doors today. You guys get that? You think that. Come on. You think that sometimes, okay? I'm going to make a few more phone calls, or I'll knock on a few more doors if I don't stop and preview a few more properties. And yet, when you preview a piece of property, or you knock on a particular door, and they ask you about what's going on in the neighborhood, what are the pricing, what's happening, and you haven't previewed the properties, and you don't feel comfortable, confident, and proud of your answer, how do you then feel about yourself? Hello?
Not too good.
You don't feel good about yourself, right? So then the answer coming across, the approach to the client drops down a notch or two. They hear it in your voice. They hear it in your tonality. They hear it, you back up a little bit. Instead of get in the face of the client into the transaction with pride and confidence, you start to back off slightly. Do you guys get this? Yes. Okay, none of this is big by itself. But if it's off slightly at the door or over the phone, and the client picks up on your lack of confidence, that may be all it takes for the client not to be assured of you handling their transaction. Sale of their home, one of the biggest transactions of their life?
Yes. Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
In most cases, it's the biggest single financial transaction in a client's world. And they want to protect their equity. They want to make sure that they're not overcharged. They want to trust you. And some of that comes from your self-esteem, how you feel about yourself, and it starts with previewing property. So I wrote down here, how to build a good image and strong self-esteem. So write down, number one, not necessarily in this order, but the first thing on my list is daily affirmations. How you feel about yourself. Am I good at what I do? Do I think I'm good at what I do or not? Okay? So, you lost a listing yesterday. You feel bad about it. Your head goes to, no one's ever going to list with me again. How's that for an affirmation?
Not very good.
And all of us, including me, has had that thought in my career. Okay? I lost a listing, or I lost a presentation, or something didn't go exactly right, and I didn't get that deal or that listing. I go to complete, oh boy, this is it. This is the end. And that's what's going on in my head. Everybody, shake your head. Yeah, come on. We've all been there. All right? That's an affirmation. It's a negative affirmation, yet it's an affirmation. How are you talking to yourself? What are you saying? You know, no one will ever buy from me again. How about this one, ladies? I'm not that pretty. I'm not that tall. I'm a woman. Guys, I'm old.
I'm bold.
Oh, I'm bold. Oh, bald.
Bold and bold.
Bald and bold. Okay. I'm old. Okay? I'm young. I have had a career. I have lived in this career. I've had this career span 40 years. When I started in the career, I used to say to myself, I'm too young. Now I'm thinking, maybe I'm too old. Interesting, huh? That's how long I've been in this career. I started when I was, oh my gosh, it was 1973. I think I was 20. I think 20 or 21 years old. I have to look at the math on it. And I will be 65 years old next week, or next month. Okay? That's the span of my career. And you start with one and you do the other. Now, this was the stuff that went in my head earlier on. Now, I don't necessarily have the I'm old today. I kind of kid about it a little bit. But maybe I shouldn't even do that because you start to get that negative self-fulfilling prophecy. The truth is that no one will outwork me. No one will stay consistent. No one focuses more. I mean, that's my deal. That's my deal for 40 years. Okay? But that's how we're looking at it. So we're looking at daily affirmations. I can't remember my scripts. I don't know what my script says. Okay? I can't. We have all this I can't going on in our head. Negative self-fulfilling affirmations. Stop that. So start putting in I can, I will, I must, I shall. Okay? Not I should, I must. I am. Perfect. I am. I am a great salesperson. So I want you to take a moment. I want to show you the power of I am a great salesperson and how you can change your feeling and your attitude in just a moment. So first of all, think and feel where you are right now. Okay? What your energy level is, how you feel about what's going on, maybe some of the thoughts that are going through your head about the positive things and the negative things that maybe I've talked about here. And I'd like you to all stand up, please. Okay? Stand up. Come on. Oh, jeez. Have to get into action. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to, and you can use this technique. I've used this technique for myself for years. Okay? But I'd like you to use this technique right now and say 3 times at a little above normal speaking voice, I'm a great salesperson. So say it 3 times, okay? I'm a great salesperson. I'm a great salesperson. I'm a great salesperson. Now crank that up 20% and do it again. I'm a great salesperson. I'm a great salesperson. I'm a great salesperson. Now I want you to crank it up 20%, and I'd like you to get your body involved in a little bit. So move your arms, do something, just kind of do something like that 3 times. Do it again. I'm a great salesperson. I'm a great salesperson. I'm a great salesperson. Okay, now we got to crank it up about 20% more. Get your arms out there. Kind of get a little bit crazy. Get a little bit loose. Let's go. One more time. I'm a great salesperson. I'm a great salesperson. I'm a great salesperson. Now, last time, I want them in Covina to hear you from here without the telephone. Let's go. I'm a great salesperson. I'm a great salesperson. I'm a great salesperson. Okay. Question. That was about 25, 30 seconds of doing that activity. Okay? You feel a little bit different now than you did 30 seconds ago?
Yes.
Just doing that makes a giant difference. Imagine if you did something like that before you got on the telephone and started making some phone calls. Imagine if you did something like that as you started to walk in on a listing presentation. Before you walk in, you're outside in the car, close the doors, close the windows, turn the music up, and just do a little bit of I'm a great salesperson. If you're worried about it, if you want to look cool, because call me, okay, and do it on the phone to me, okay? Get you cranked up and get you going. Okay, sit down. You feel better though, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, you feel, when you do that, just that small activity, you feel like you can move and do some things. So all we did was change our state slightly. This is a little thing that anyone here been to a Tony Robbins event? How do you think you get to dance and jump around for 12 hours? This is what you're doing. He's got you up and down at certain intervals, getting a little crazy, cranks the music up, and you look around and all of a sudden you were there for 12 hours and you go, whoa, what's going on here? And you're doing it. It has to do with strong self-image, how you feel about yourself, what's going on, and that's one of the ways you can do it in about 25 or 30 seconds. So the second thing I wrote down here, focus on building your skills. Focus on building your skills. Okay, finally, focus on building your skills. First quarter's over. We've talked about this and talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. Focus on building your skills. You know what to do. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Number 3, take action. Get off your tush and go take action. Preview property. When you preview property, the reason we don't go door knock in some cases, or we don't move our price point up, is because we don't know the neighborhood. We don't know the market. We're afraid of what? We're afraid of somebody asking us a question about the neighborhood we don't have an answer to. You get it? That's what we're afraid of. That's what's stopping you from making the big bucks. You're afraid of what somebody's going to ask you. Think about this. If you door knocked any area Los Angeles, or any area in the San Gabriel Valley, or any area in Orange County or the Inland Empire, and you went and saw 5 houses a day, 5 days a week, that's 25 houses at the end of the week, any neighborhood, and you did that for 4 weeks, you saw 100 homes. Now, I don't care how well you knew Menifee. Okay? Most of you don't know it. Agreed? But if you saw 100 homes in Menifee in the next 30 days, Annabelle? Okay? Manuel? Rose? You'd know Menifee. You would know it. And you'd know the values. And if somebody asked you a question about it, you'd know it. Does this make sense? Yeah. It's one of the skills. Okay, so then you have to know some of the scripts, some of the dialogues, what to say and how to say it. But first, let's just preview the houses. Don't even knock on the doors. Go see 25, 30 houses. Don't knock on the doors. Just see 25, 30 houses. Know what the values are, and then start knocking on the doors. Okay? Next one. So I wrote down take action. The fourth one is have exciting goals. Have exciting goals. I want to pay the minimum payment on my credit card this month is not an exciting goal.
I want to get rid of my credit card.
I want to get rid of my credit card. I want to make the final payment on my credit card. That's exciting. Okay? Sorry?
Pay off my house.
Pay off your house. That's exciting. Making the monthly payment, not exciting. Paying off the house, exciting, right? Buying a new car, exciting. Making the payment on the car, not exciting. Paying off the car or buying a new car for cash, exciting. Get what I'm talking about here?
Yes. Yes.
So this is not about monthly payments. It's in the short run, maybe it is. You know, look, I have to do this to do this. But when I do this and I make that, then I can do this. And it changes. It changes overnight. We overestimate what we can do in 1 year. Write that down. Some of you made some lofty goals January 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Made some lofty goals for 2016. I get it. Okay, the first quarter's done. Some of you are on track. Yahoo! Some of you, not so much. Okay? But we still have 3 quarters to go. We still have 3 quarters to go. We have exciting goals, but sometimes we overestimate what we can do in 1 year and underestimate, here's the key, because we're all into instant gratification, we all underestimate what we can do in 5 years. Okay? Now, nobody wants to wait 5 years. But do you plan on being in the business 5 years from now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I plan on being here. You plan on being here. So let's work on what we need to work on today and get those goals done. And maybe we're going to fall short on the 1 year. But let me tell you something. In the 5 years, And I've shared this with you before. It's astounding what you can accomplish over a 5 to 10 year period, and coming from nowhere, from nothing. You get enough scotch in me, I'll tell you that story. From where I was in 1995, where I was in 1995 and where I am today, it's a different galaxy. We're not talking planets. We're talking galaxies. Okay? Huge difference. Putting one foot in front of the other every single day, whether you want to or not. I overestimate what I would do in 1 year, way overestimated what I was going to do in 1 year, and way underestimated what I could do over the next 5 or 10 years. It was amazing. I wrote down here, number 5, desire. Why do you get up every morning and come to work? Why do you get up every morning and come to work? Why do you get up every morning? It's got to be exciting. It's got to be compelling. Otherwise, don't do this. Don't kill yourself. This is nuts. Okay? This is a pretty amazing business. This is a phenomenal business. It's a spectacular business. Where on God's green earth can you make the kind of money that we make without the investment and the education that, we don't, how much does it cost really to get into the real estate business?
800, 600. Maybe $1,000.
Maybe. If you were doing something wacky, maybe a couple of grand, maybe. How much does it cost to open a dress store? How much does it cost to open a Starbucks? You get what I'm talking about here? And the money you can make in this business is virtually limitless. There is no limit. It's amazing. It's amazing. And there's no huge ongoing investment, especially in this real estate business. It's amazing. I mean, how much do you need to carry yourself on a monthly basis? Not a big deal. Bless you. See, it's the truth. So my mother would say. And then the last thing I wrote down here is focus on your daily activities. Focus on your daily activities. Your daily activities. Show up at these blitzes, and you're doing that. You're doing your job on a very regular basis. I wrote down here, you have to be relentless and unstoppable for the next 20 work days. Write that down. Relentless and unstoppable for the next 20 work days. From today to the end of April. From today to the end of April. We're not going to worry about the second quarter in total. We're only going to worry about the next 20 work days. I wrote down here, in life, there's always rules we have to follow if we expect to succeed at a high level. You want to succeed at a low level or high level?
High level.
How high?
High.
Very high, right? Right. The tallest level. So I write these down. There are 7 thoughts on this. Number 1. Very difficult. Only if you want to succeed at the highest level. You're going to love these, Amy. Right up your alley. Find people to buy and sell real estate. I don't care how you do it. You can door knock, you can phone canvas. We think we have some ideas, but you might have some ideas. That's okay. We're open to the concept. Find people to buy and sell real estate. You can't have too many qualified prospects. I wrote that down there. You can't. That's number 1. Number 2, follow up on them daily. It's getting complicated. Follow up on them daily. By the way, point number 1, or point A on this list, is hard for some people to do on a regular basis. Yes or no? Yes. Okay? Yes or no?
Yes.
Do you know what's harder to do than that?
Start.
Number 2. Point 2. Follow up. Follow up. Well, that's what gets you to where you are. Most people don't get there. Okay? Anyone that does a lot of business in this business is in large part because of their ability to take action on the follow-up. Okay? It's point number 2. Follow up with them daily. The more often, the better. I hardly get a phone call from any client that says, "Get your agent off of me." I never get it. In fact, I don't think I've ever gotten a call like that. You know? Pull them off of me. Pull them off of me. Okay? I would like to get a few of those phone calls this week. Could I think on this month? Okay? Next one, qualify them carefully. I believe you can't know too much about them. That's where we're getting ourselves in a little bit of trouble, because we don't know enough about why they want to do what they want to do. Why are they moving? They said they wanted to move, but we didn't ask all the rest of the questions. Work really hard. We've brought that to you in the advanced script class, where we're working on the lead qualifying questions. Not the lead follow-up questions, but the lead qualifying questions to qualify this client. The next one is go on presentations daily. You know, write that down. There's really no reason why some of you can't be on a buyer or seller presentation every single day. Showing property or working with a seller every single day. So you should be going out on daily presentations. Okay? Next thought, close them. Close them.
Sign the contract.
Ask them to sign the contract. Close them. Here, I wrote this down. They will sign if you make a great presentation. Which means you might have to work on your presentation. But they will sign the contract if you will work on the presentation. Okay? Or make a great presentation. I wrote down, negotiate with them. Negotiate. Learn what they want. Negotiate with them. This actually, in all the things that we do, when the face-to-face is where we get paid. This is where we make money, because we become the problem solver. Okay? We become the problem solver. When you ask enough questions of the client, you can identify what some of the issues are and help them make some of those decisions. Negotiate with them. And then the last thought there, G, is start over again every day. And I'd like you to write this down. Start over again every day at 0. Start over at 0. It's very difficult to finish today and then walk in tomorrow and start over in general. It's much more difficult to start from 0, because what we have in our head is we have, okay, I got a few listings, I have a few pendings, I've had a few closings, and so I do the proverbial deep breath. And you relax slightly. Not completely, but you relax slightly. What's the biggest challenge I have with 69 of our agents that I'm working with in our company in the next quarter? They made more money in the first quarter, this first quarter, than they made in the first quarter last year. Which creates what? Some complacency. I have my job cut out for me, because this is really a real, true issue. Because we take that, I got a little extra money. I got my payment for the house is covered for this month. The car payment's taken care of. Can't buy a whole car cash yet, but I got the payments covered for the house and the car and the things that are there. This is where we run into a problem. This is where we run into a problem. So, here's the questions you have to ask yourself before we leave here today. Quarter 2 is in front of us. We have an opportunity to really accelerate, to turbocharge what's going on in our lives and our careers. So in the next 20 days, write this down. In the next 20 days, how many days will you work? That's your question. 20 work days from my perspective. That includes Saturdays and Sundays off for the most part. I'm only looking for a 5.5 day work week commitment. So you've got 20 work days. How many of those will you actually work? Plan it out. Mark them off. If you're going to work, work. If you're not going to work, take the day off. I'm perfectly fine with that. Second thought, how many people will you talk to? Write that down. How many people over the next 20 work days will you talk to? Third thought, of those people, how many will be past client and sphere of influence? Of the 20 work days and of the people that you talk to, how many of them will be past client and sphere of influence? Make a decision now before you start working. I wrote down here, how many will be new contacts? So we have past client and sphere, and we have new contacts.
New contacts, you mean like just,
Just listed, just sold, people that you meet at open houses, people that you meet at Costco. I wrote down here, how much time will you spend with intense lead follow-up? Now we're talking to people, but we need to have the intense lead follow-up with those people. Intense lead follow-up, not lead follow-up, intense lead follow-up, but for only 20 work days. How many open houses will you hold? Don't tell me you don't hold any, because you all do. So how many? Okay? It's a source of business. I don't think it's the highest and best use of your time, but you're going to hold some. Write them down. How many are you going to do? Okay? How many appointments will you go on? How many buyer appointments? How many listing appointments? If you talk to this many people, how many appointments should you be able to generate? 20 work days. That's all we're talking about. David, you with me? Great. If you go on this many appointments, how many listings are you going to take? How many listings could you take?
1 month for this.
Well, 20 work days. The next 20 work days, which is the month of April. Okay? How many sales will you make? I'd like to take those numbers and I'd like you to turn them into me or your coach or both. Write your name on it. Month of April at the top. This is my commitment. This is where we're at. Now we talked last week that if you did most of what we ask you to do most of the time, you'd have a pretty great career, right?
Yes.
Okay? So that means that if you were to prospect 3 hours a day for 20 days, how many hours of prospecting is that? 60 hours. And if you were to prospect for 60 hours and you were to contact 10 people an hour, how many people would you talk to? Hello?
600.
How many? 600, right? You guys with me? Now let me ask you guys a question. If you talk to 600 people, think about it, 600 people. Do you think any one of those people want to buy or sell anything now or in the very near future? Hello?
Yes.
600. 600.
3 to 6 people. Maybe a 5 or a 10%. But the conversion is different for everybody, right?
Conversions are going to be different for everyone. But the concept of just, the truth is, with intensity, with knowing what to say and how to say it, with good self-esteem, with feeling good about yourself, with knowledge of the marketplace, if you really did talk to 600 people over the next 20 work days, somebody's going to want to buy or sell something with and from you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You see, I've just got to get you to buy that 12 times a year. And I think of myself as a really good salesperson, but I just do such a crappy job on this.
Is that an affirmation?
Thank you. Do you get what I'm talking about here? You have a chance to turbocharge the second quarter of your year right now by pushing like crazy on the first month. Creating a little bit of momentum here so that we can carry it through April, into May, then into June, and in the middle of July, we're going to the Superstar Retreat. We go to the Superstar Retreat, Mike revs us up again, and we come out of the chute. We focus on that. Then in October, I'm going to have Mike do a running through the finish line talk, either he or Ron, one or the other. And that's how we're going to keep this thing going and this momentum going. So I'm doing my part, right? Say yes. Yes. All I need you to do is your part. Now let's go out and make this the best week we've had so far this year. Thank you.